Still Standing with Diane Six is for the woman whose life did not exactly ask permission before changing everything. Rude, honestly, if you ask me. I'm Diane Six, author of Step Into My Shoes and the creator of the Still Standing method. And here we talk about life's unexpected chapters with honesty, humor, reflection, and just enough sass to keep us upright. Because life splits, but you can still stand. At my mom's funeral, the pastor walked over to me, holding a Bible, and said, "This was meant for you today, Diane." And then handed me something I didn't even know still existed. A Bible. But not just any Bible. This was my Grandma Frances's Bible. My maternal grandma loved her Bible, and I do not mean it sat on a shelf looking holy and decorative. I mean daily use, well worn, marked up, notes in the margin. The kind of Bible that looked like it had been lived in, prayed over, cried into, and probably carried through more life than most people ever talk about. One Sunday, years earlier, her pastor showed up to church and realized he had accidentally left his Bible at home. Which honestly feels like the pastor version of showing up to work without pants. So my grandma, being exactly who she was, handed him her Bible. She lent it to him for the sermon that day. And after church, she forgot to ask for it back. So the next Sunday, he brought it to church with intention to give it back to her. And he tried to return it. And my grandma waved him off. She said in her quiet voice, No, you keep it." He tried again the following week. Same answer. It actually became a joke. "Pastor, you need it more than I do." Apparently, my grandma decided that if God had allowed him to forget his Bible on Sunday, then clearly there was a reason. So he kept it. And he preached from it. For years. And years. Meanwhile, since my grandma now didn't have a Bible, my mom bought her a brand new Bible, which she used until the day she passed. Crisis averted. Grandma had the new Bible again. Everyone moved on, or so I thought. Fast forward 11 years. We're sitting at my mom's funeral. The same pastor, the same voice. Only now, that voice was carrying the weight of goodbye. During the eulogy, he told a story of my grandma and the Bible. How she kept telling him, half jokingly and half knowingly, "You keep it. Clearly you need it more than I do. You forgot to bring the Bible to the Sunday sermon." And then one day she said something that he will never forget. And he told this that day. She said, "Pastor, there will be a day when you'll know what to do with it." That sentence gives me chills. He said when my grandma passed, he still kept preaching from her Bible. It had become very special to him. Sacred, really. And then he looked down at the Bible in his hands. The one that was open during my mom's eulogy. the one that he had been preaching from for all those years. It was still the same Bible, my grandma's Bible. It made me feel special that he was still holding on to it and actually using it on this day as we told my mom goodbye. And at the end of the speech, he closed it. He paused. And he walked over to me and said, "All these years, I didn't know what she meant when she said I would know what to do with it." And then he looked at me and said, "But today, I finally do." And he handed me the Bible and said, "This was meant for you on this day, Diane." And I completely lost it. Probably an ugly cry. I was already crying anyway because of being at my mom's funeral. It was the kind of cry where the mascara gives up and your dignity quietly leaves the building. People in the room gasped. This was a shock to so many people. The only people that knew this story, that my grandma had given him the Bible, was the pastor and his wife, my mom, and my grandma. And it was beautiful. And somehow, all those years, the Bible found its way back to me. Not randomly or casually, but on the day that I needed it the most. My grandma had given him something she loved so someone else could use it. And years later, it came back carrying pieces of her, my mom, and this story that had been waiting so patiently for the right moment. This moment. She gave it to him so that one day he could give a piece of her back to me when that time came. And here's what makes this even more special and meaningful for me. This is episode 7 of the podcast. 7, meaning completion, blessing, divine timing. In the Bible, the 7th day of the week, God blessed and made holy after the work of creation was complete. And I don't know about you, but I have lived long enough to believe that some things don't return to us by accident. Sometimes love circles back. Sometimes a story waits. And sometimes something sacred finds you right when you need it the most. And sometimes, when the time comes, you finally understand why it was never really lost. Sometimes what looks like a gift leaving your hands is really a blessing finding its way to the person who will need it much later. Thank you, Grandma. Feeling like life is a little too lifey lately? Well, guess what? I made something just for that. The free 10-day Still Standing Reset is a gentle daily reset to help you breathe, stop the spin, and take one small brave step forward. It is not a life overhaul, and it's not anything that you can fail at. It's just a soft place to begin when you have hard days. It's 10 days, a few minutes a day, and zero bossy energy from me. Start here to take the free reset at stepintomyshoeshere.com.